Hi everyone, I wanted to apologize for not getting this video out to you yesterday. We had a family emergency that we were dealing with and everything is good, so we're thankful for that. So in today's video, I'm going to go over a few different projects that we're going to be doing for kind of just the winter theme. This clipboard here, I always hand make Ellie's teacher something for Christmas, so I thought this year I would do a clipboard, and so we're going to decoupage that little owl that you saw earlier. And so of course we have to make it a white background, so I put 2 coats of beadboard from the DIY paint line on there and let that dry. And then we're going to decoupage this cute little owl on there. And for that I'm going to be using liquid patina from DIY, and we're going to do it in sections so it makes it a little bit easier. I did use my misting bottle and got the paper wet before applying, and that way it opens up the fibers and makes it a little more flexible, and it eliminates a lot of the bubbles. I also use a piece of saran wrap to help get the creases out, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my heat gun to dry everything underneath first. That makes it nice and flat, and then we're going to go over with another coat of the liquid patina to seal it all in. Here we're going to go over just using my little finger sander, I'll have that link down below, to remove any of the excess decoupage paper. Always go in a downward motion, and that will give you a nice clean edge. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. This is after it has dried completely. You don't want to do it while it's wet because it'll just tear that decoupage paper. And I'm just going to go over and remove any of the excess around that little clip part. So now we're going to use the Fusion French Eggshell. It's a really pretty light green blue color. It matches this decoupage paper really well. And I'm just going to blend in around the edges and the bottom. There's a line, a white line you can see there. So we're just going to hide that and kind of make a cloud around the owl. And then once this dries completely, I am going to go in and use some epoxy to seal this entire thing. And I'll do 1 coat, and then I'll put her name on it with my Cricut vinyl, and then I'll do a 2nd coat, and then this will be completed for her. I think she'll like it. All right, so you can see just enough to kind of cover that line, but I still wanted some of the other colors to pop through. And so now we're going to go in with our epoxy resin, and this is from KSresin. It's an artist epoxy, and I can try and link that down below for you guys if you're interested. It's a part A and part B. It's equal measurements on both, and then you mix them together. And you always want to use protective gloves and a respirator mask when doing epoxy. Even if there is low odor, it's just safer that way. And this is epoxy that will cure within 72 hours. So, and then it cures to a hard resin, which is nice. So that she'll be able to use this for a long time. And then you're going to have micro bubbles. So I have a little torch that I use to get rid of those bubbles, but you can also use alcohol. You can spritz alcohol on there, and that will do the same trick. So I bought this at a yard sale. I thought I could go ahead and just put something on the inside. So we're going to use, again, the DIY beadboard and put 2 coats evenly on there. It does have those little turquoise rocks in there, but this is going to be for my home decor, so I wasn't really bothered by it too much. And then I'm going to use the same decoupage paper. I think this is from Recycled Papers, but this deer was just so cute that I had to use it. And then I'm going to decoupage that on, let it dry, and then we're going to do the same thing like we did with the owl. We're going to go around the edges and feather in some of that ingle nook from Fusion. So I always now use the misting technique with the decoupage paper. It makes it so much easier. And I know you can see the rocks through the paper, but that didn't really bother me that much. And then once I'm done feathering in that paint, I'm going to let it dry completely, and we'll do the resin again inside to seal everything up. All right, so now that everything's dry, I'm going to go in with my Fusion clear wax first. I'm just doing the edge. They have those little rims in there that I want to bring out some detail. And then we're going to go in with the DIY dark wax after. I always seal it with the clear wax first. That way I have more control over the black or the dark wax. And so I just wanted to bring some of the color of the deer out a little bit. And then here is the resin again. I'm going to go in and just kind of make sure it touches all the surfaces. And then I'm going to let it dry for at least 12 hours before we do any decorating on the top. And again, you can use a heat gun, you can use a torch, you can use the alcohol. So I like to do the heat gun or the torch first. Get most of the bubbles out, and then I spritz it with the 91% alcohol, and that will usually get most of the ones that are rising to the top out as well. So you have a nice clear coat. All right, so it's the next day. We're gonna go ahead and decorate. I've got some greenery on there. Apparently I forgot to film that part, but I had this really pretty blue ribbon, and I'm just gonna make a simple bow to go on top there. I'm just gonna use some twine to make the actual bow part in the middle. You can use other different colored ribbon, you can use twine, you can use any kind of little rope. It's all your personal preference. Tend to fiddle a lot with my bows. And then I'll just hot glue that onto the top in between the greenery there. And our last project for today is going to be some candy canes. So I got these at the Dollar Tree, these forms. And the yarn I got from Hobby Lobby when it was on sale. I love this fluffy big yarn. It's so nice. And that's going to be my accent color. It's going to go really well with the last couple projects that we've done. So basically I'm just going to hot glue a starter point and wrap that all the way around the candy cane there. And then I will end up doing the accent color on top. So I'm going to do that for both. And then we'll wire them together and create some greenery on it. As I got up here towards the top, I had to hot glue each time just because of the curve. But the base was really easy. Basically, you hot glue the bottom, and then, just like I'm doing here, you just keep going up and around. And then once you hit that curve, then you can hot glue it again and tack it into place. Typically I've gone more with traditional colors, the red and the green, but this year I wanted to just try something a little different. Change it up a bit. So I'm just going to use wire to secure these together. You can use floral wire, you can use zip ties. This is just the wire I had on hand. So I'm going to make sure it's nice and secure in the middle and start decorating it. So I've had just some extra picks and things that I'm trying to use up, and I'm just going to hot glue those together. I'm going to wire or use some twine just to keep them together, and then the little pieces in between I'll hot glue onto the greenery, and then I will hot glue some twine around the top to make it a little bit more visually appealing. We'll also put a bow on there as well as a rusty bell to top it off. And you can use this as just display on a mantle or something because it will sit up, or you can hang it from your door, whatever you think would be best. But I'm just going to display it on the mantle. Since it's white, I don't want it outside necessarily. Did go with a different, just a more natural color burlap bow for this one. Again, using my twine to tie the middle down and then hot gluing it into place. I just tie that jingle bell with some twine as well. I go around the middle part of the bow to tie it on there. And then it's all set. So here they are. Let me know what you guys think of these projects, these winter projects. And again, I'm sorry for not getting it out yesterday. Things happen in life, so we have to adjust a little bit, but here they are, and let me know what you think, and then we will be back here on Friday, hopefully with a piece of furniture. If not, I'll have some more DIY projects for you. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we'll see you then. Bye.